I don't see it.
The countdown was there. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Try Virtual Roundtable.
I did not see the countdown.
Well, that's
I think everyone saw it, but you.
That's because you can't see.
No, usually it's bigger.
That's not the first time that you've never seen the countdown. So don't act like it's the first time. So welcome to Try Virtual Roundtable. We are talking about Black history. And yes, we are minus one black guy today. Happy Father's Day to all the pops that are out there and the dads that are holding it down, being the dads that you're supposed to be. Welcome to Try Virtual Roundtable. If this is your first time to Try Virtual Roundtable, we are
Virtual
Roundtable.
Yes. So
Good job,
his
Doc.
name.
Good job,
I know.
Doc.
So good job, Doc. Good job, Doc. As you guys
I
can
should be
see,
eating chips or something in the middle of this. I feel
right.
Doc-
Exactly. As you guys
Doc
can
has
see,
white
Doc
face.
needed to get outside and get some
Doc
color.
has white
as you can
face
see.
right now.
He's got white face right now. So Doc is on a train right now. He's probably watching. Hopefully he's
Connor.
watching on his. Yeah, he's on a train to New York to visit his daughters for Father's Day. They made an appointment or a reservation and all that good stuff. Oh, there he is. Doc says, "Yo, what
We
up,
don't
Doc?"
care. We don't care.
And I know. And we had Grace says, "Happy Father's Day, y'all."
Thank you.
And Honey Bear Catherine says, "Good afternoon, guys. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Honey Bear." So we're talking about. Oh, I know. Shut up, Icy. I know. I just said Happy Father's Day.
I know.
To
I know.
To
I didn't know
Catherine,
she.
Well,
did
well,
that.
no. Catherine has been putting it down as a father and with all of taking care of her kids and stuff for a minute. Sometimes she had to do it by herself. She's told some stories, but so Happy Father's Day to her when she had to fill in that role. And Tracy said, "Happy Father's Day." Thank you very much, Trace. Appreciate it. And so we're talking about Black history
Doc
today.
says, "Get out my damn house." By the way,
He did say get out my. No,
Yep.
as you guys can see, I am here in New Jersey in Doc's
Get
house.
out my house.
I've taken over his
I
computer.
just got that.
I've taken over his computer way too many times. He called me while I was at the store telling me, "Why are you stepped away from my computer? Your little behind needs to be on the computer."
Working.
And so yeah, no, he's got me chained to it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm not bitter about it or nothing. So it's okay.
They put you back in chains.
So what's up, Gloria? Well, yeah, chains. Speaking of which, we'll talk about slavery in a little bit. So hello, boys. Happy Father's
slavery,
Day.
That's not part of
That's
Black
from
history.
Glow. No, not at all. Is it, Connor?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So we are here today. So, hey, Connor, you want to tell him the story about you calling us to calling Doc and I on the phone?
Yeah. So I'm asked like every day to be on the podcast, and I
Lie.
will say I won't do it. It's not a lie. So I told last week I watched it. I said I'll be on the podcast.
Wait, first, I'm sorry. Can you introduce who you are, and because people might not know who in the heck you are.
Oh, I'm Connor. I'm Icy's son. I'm his son, not his father.
I am your father.
No, so he always asked me to be on the podcast. I said I'll be on it if we talk about history. And so I got in the 3-way call. The next thing I know, I'm in a 3-way call with all these guys on there. And
I had to, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about history. And Devlin says, "Oh, cool, we'll talk about Black history."
Why did we not? Why did we not
I'm
do
like,
this
yeah,
on
let's
in
do it.
February? I don't know.
It's Juneteenth. It's Juneteenth was 2 days ago.
That's
right.
Day.
It was
a
history.
whole month.
That's Black, but it's Black history. But it's Black history.
Okay.
Shh. Okay, so Connor, keep going. Don't interrupt. Remember, Connor, we just
February.
said you can't keep quiet.
Is Black History Month.
I said, sure, let's do it. And here we are. Did some research. Got some cool stuff to talk about.
All right. So Doc says podcast looks good. Thanks, Doc.
Well, it
Appreciate
looks
it.
good because he's not in it.
Because his head isn't right here on the other one. Yeah, exactly. So here we are talking about Black history, and we wanted to talk about Black history from I say it from a white guy's perspective, or I don't know, putting it that way, but I would love to hear from someone that is not Black that would be able
Someone with
to
less
give their
melanin.
yes, with less melanin than me, and that would give us their history on Black history, because we might perceive Black history different than you might perceive it. So I would love to hear your perspective, and kind of bounce off what kind of research that you've done to come to this podcast with some cool Black history facts that I might not have known, or that I might have misunderstood, or from a different perspective. So, what you got, Connor? Since you said you want to talk about history, let's see what you got.
So, I mean, if we're talking about American Black history, obviously you got to start with slavery, which sucks. It's not a fun topic, for anyone, I don't think.
Nope.
When I was like, what I first did when I was, doing research and stuff is I watched Crash Course. Do y'all know Crash Course history?
I don't know Crash Course history.
All right, it carried me through high school. It was great. It's just like a YouTube series where they just talk about history. That's basically it.
Nice.
So they actually have one. I think it was 52 episodes long, a 52 episode playlist. Each episode is probably like 15 minutes long, and it's just talking about American Black history.
Wow.
So that was perfect.
And what's it called again?
Crash Course.
Crash Course. All right, everybody, look it up. Crash Course.
It's actually it's not just history. They have all different kinds. Fun fact about that: the dude who wrote.
Hey, Connor, I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. Doc said your voice is a little low. Can you bring your mic?
Is that better?
Oh, that is better. I know. Yeah.
No, so the dude who wrote Fault in Our Stars, he actually does Crash Course, and so does his brother. So that's I think that's how it got started, was them.
Okay.
So that got you through stuff. Okay. Yeah, so watching that made, brought some new information to light that I didn't know about.
Tell me, what's the one thing in that course, or that you went through, that stood out the most, that you were either surprised about, or that you didn't really understand and it brought more understanding to you?
I really liked about learning about the Black Renaissance, or Harlem Renaissance, my bad.
Oh, the Harlem Renaissance.
Like the 1920s, music, the arts, all that stuff. It's really cool. A lot of cool Black writers. Oh, no, you know what the most interesting thing to me was, that I was like, this is just insane, was do you know who Sojourner Truth is?
I've heard of him.
Right. So I knew who she was, from school and stuff.
Oh,
but she
who did you say?
Sojourner Truth.
I did not. I was thinking you said something else. I was thinking of a guy, not a her.
So she grew up a slave, and she gave this speech at a conference that's really popular. It's called Ain't I a Woman? And now, I didn't know this, but there's actually 2 versions of that speech. And
really?
Yeah. So there's the actual speech she gave, and it didn't get very much press. But 12 years after the fact, it was published. A new version was published in a newspaper, and it was a white journalist that was at the speech that published this, and he completely changed it. It's insane.
You gonna read it for us?
I'll read a little bit of it.
I would love to hear it. Bring it.
Yeah, what changed? What changed it?
This is the original. Everything changed. It's a whole different speech. It's crazy.
Really?
So the old one says, I want to say a few words about this matter. I am a woman's rights activist. I have as much muscle as any man and can do as much work as any man. I have plowed and reaped and husked and chopped and mowed. And can any man do more than that? I have heard much about the sexes being equal. I can carry as much as any man. I can eat as much too, if I can get it. So you see, this is just like a normal speech, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
This is the one that got popular. And this is the one that I read in school, this is crazy to me that this is the one that they're teaching in school today. Dat man over there say that woman. This is actually how it's written. I'm not. These are the words that are written. They're written like this.
No.
Yes. And then it gets its name from later in the speech. She says, "And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. Ain't I a woman?"
Interesting.
Completely
That's
Wow.
interesting.
And that
that's what you
journalist-
learn. That's what you learned
Exactly.
in history.
Exactly.
That's
So
crazy.
you learn the
It has a
broken
similar
English,
message,
the
but they completely
non-educated
exactly.
sounding
Right.
version.
Yep.
And it's like, what? I don't understand why they're still teaching that today. Like,
Instead of the other, instead of the
Yeah.
actual speech. And again, that I think again a lot of times, and we filter that out to fit our narrative. And again, we look at think of how it is now. It's that same thing that we do now with our social media and all of that stuff. We change it to fit our narrative, and we cut and paste what we like out of it. And so that's that same thing. And why did he have to change it? Did it? I mean, what
He
was the purpose
claims-
for it?
he claimed it was because people wouldn't believe that a black woman grown up as a slave would be eloquent or well spoken.
So he decided to change it to dumb her down.
Yes.
Yeah, that, and
It's
so
insane.
it understatement. Just that whole mentality of changing it and saying, I got to dumb you down so people can hear what you're saying because we don't believe that you're smart enough to say something like that.
Right.
Yep. And so that, to me, right there, is amazing that you've been able to watch something, learn it from our educational system that is, there, and then turn around and find it on your own that it was done incorrectly, maliciously, for a purpose that shouldn't be. That it was
Right.
obvious there was a reason for it that shouldn't have been going.
And it's just so weird to me because the dude that published this second version, he was in support of it. He was in support of her, like women's rights and African American rights. But then he still felt the need to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Because and all of that. So let's go back to that slavery. You touched on that. We started out with that. So let's go back because it kind of goes
Well, hold
along
on.
with
Let
what
me.
we're
Let me.
talking
I
about
got something
now.
to say about
Okay.
that. So when I was,
Wait, I thought you were going to be.
I
said you were gonna
I
just
was
speak.
quiet. No. It's funny because
I know. I'm just playing. I'm playing.
growing up, and when I visited and lived in New Orleans with my relatives, they spoke the broken English kind of thing very strongly. And you could say, "Oh, that's a black thing. That's the way the black people talk," but it was really the Southern way of talking. Like because even the white people that I knew there, they all had that kind of broken English. I'll just say that. I don't know what other way to call it.
Right.
But exactly. So the opposite happened with me when I was writing the book. So I was talking to Claude. I'm like, I remember my grandma saying this. So I said, hey, this. I have a character based on her. So I said, say this and this and this, right? So I look at it and I read it and I go, well, that's not how she said it. So I told my program, Claude, I said, I need you to speak in a Southern black tone when it comes to this, kind of like a broken English. And it did exactly what that white guy did. That thing.
Oh.
It actually said, what was it? The kids playing in the backyard one time is like, my kids ain't playing backyard there, something like really weird. And I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. She wasn't that bad. Like
Right.
Claude took it in a different direction. Like this person is
Right.
totally uneducated, like that. Like they couldn't
Right.
put 7 words together. They had to put 4 words together instead. Because like they didn't have the vocabulary or something. So it's funny how that you
Yep.
said that, Connor, because I did the reverse on purpose. Like
Right.
the lady that you're talking about, Connor, said it perfectly, and I said it perfectly, and I said I got to change it, just like that
Right.
reporter did. Very, very
Right. But again, if you're doing it, and see, there's a difference when you're doing it from quoting someone, their actual direct quote of what they're saying, and you're trying to represent what they're saying, or
It's totally
doing
yeah.
a book doing a book as a timepiece, because you can do that as a timepiece and say, in that time period, this is how they
Right, and
talked or
this
whatever,
location
and
too,
it would
and this
fit in.
location.
Right, and it would fit in. But if you're taking a direct quote from someone, it's a little different,
Yeah.
and you're like completely, yeah. So
Okay. That was off the subject.
it's
That was off
crazy.
topic a little bit, but that was just very
No,
interesting.
that wasn't
I didn't hear
that
that though.
was no, that was
Well, and especially if you're publishing a speech like that, if someone, talks in an accent, they say dat instead of that. Why wouldn't you write that still? It doesn't
exactly
make
what
any
they
sense. Like,
said.
you're reading the words. Okay, they speak it in a different dialect or accent, but it's the word. You know what word they're saying.
Yes, you can pick it up. You're not, and it's just like taking someone from another country and hearing their dialect and how they are, and then switching it around to fit your narrative. It's like,
Right.
no, I want to hear from their I want to hear what they say. I want to hear all that from their meaning, because that's real.
What
So
year
again, it
was
goes
this?
back to I'm sorry.
Oh, it was the early 1800s. I'll look it up for you.
Connor needs to be that
Oh,
lookup
and
person like
Doc said, oh,
It was
Doc said,
May 29th.
damn. And he also said, yep, icy. And he also said, sorry, Connor, one sec. He
yep,
also
I see for
said,
what.
everyone talk like that. So yeah, just like what
What
you
year?
were
No, he
saying,
didn't say what year
icy,
yet.
in
Hold
that
on.
time period. Huh?
He was
Oh,
telling me what
okay.
year.
It
Okay.
was 1851, and then the article was in 1863.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
1863,
And he
the
decided to write the
Emancipation
article.
Proclamation.
What?
1863.
The emancip. Yep.
Oh,
He's bringing some history there. There you go,
Yep.
icy.
Freedom the slaves. That's an
All right.
executive
So
order.
yeah.
Executive order by January 1st. It came out by Lincoln. Yep.
Oh, look at that. Going right back, segueing right back into slavery. Look at that, icy. So, what you got on slavery?
me?
You like that? Yeah. Come on, Doc. What you got
Yeah,
on
Doc.
slavery?
No, another thing that was really crazy to me was oh man, I was trying to look it up. I couldn't find the author. There was a slave in the 1600s who wrote an autobiography about his life. And he was born in Africa, taken when he was like 10 or 12 years old across the Atlantic. And the way he wrote about that experience was like so crazy to me. Like, it really made me think, like, how would I react in that situation? Like, he says, he couldn't understand anything that the white people were saying, but the way they acted and the harshness in their voice just told him that he was surrounded by evil spirits. Like, these aren't humans.
Really?
Nothing good's going to come of this. And that's so sad. Like, man,
Yeah.
imagine being a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that's a
And hearing
kid.
that. Yep. It would be. It's horrible. And just hearing that over and over again. All right. So what else in your slavery? I'm curious to your opinion on slavery, how the whole thing. Just give me your rundown on slavery. I'm just out of
All right.
curiosity.
I think
'Cause I've never
slavery
really
is
asked
the worst
someone's
thing.
opinion on it.
I think America back in the
That's
day
different.
loved slavery. Like, they actually just liked slavery for the sake of slavery. There's no other way that it makes sense to me, because France got rid of slavery before us. England got rid of slavery before us. All these European countries got rid of slavery before we did. But we said, "Oh, but who's going to work in the fields and who's going to do this, and all these jobs, like, we just can't function
For
like that." But
us.
every other European country was able to make it work. There's no
Exactly.
reason we couldn't either. We just didn't want to industrialize. We would rather have the free labor than cheap labor.
Right.
And
Exactly.
one thing that pissed me off about slavery, I see it all the time online. I hear it talking to people. I remember when I worked at AutoZone, I got in an argument for like an hour with this customer over this. I hate hearing, "Oh, well, every country's had slaves. Everywhere had slaves. This is not America exclusive." But the way in which America did slavery was an American exclusive. I can't find any other example in history where you are a slave and so was your children and his children's children and his children's children. Like, people talk about the Romans had slaves. The Romans had slaves, but the Roman slave children weren't slaves. Who?
You think so, Icy? Who do you think? But you seem to think this?
Well, I don't know of any country that legally has slaves. There are slaves in the world, but American slavery was a legal thing. You were allowed to do that. The law encouraged you to do that.
Right. Exactly. And pushed it and gave you full rights to do whatever you want. And again, that's I think what you're talking about being the difference is, they were not only allowed to do whatever they wanted, but legally, court and all of it, they could continue to do whatever they wanted without giving any human rights in that way as well. Because I mean, they're the amount of stuff, and again, we could all go back in history and look at our history books and really go deep into looking at how much the abuse was or how much the what really happened back then. Because again, they don't talk a lot about it as far as the details in what happened in slavery in, like you said, in history books and in school, because they don't want to be too graphic. They don't want to be too putting that much out there. But there were a lot of graphic stuff, and
Right.
again, I do agree that I would love for someone out there, listeners, watchers, if there are any other countries that were worse than ours or that are, please give us some feedback, because Connor kind of brought that up, and I would love to hear some stats on that if there are. I don't know any, and I would love to do it on my computer right now and do some stuff, but I can't. I'm on my laptop, so it's not as easy. Right, right. I get you. Well, slavery, Black history. Black history
Well,
would
I'm just saying
be
that's the argument. That's the argument that I hear talking about American slavery,
right.
which
So it is
like I
America.
just said, it just pisses me off. I don't understand how people say that.
Yeah. Well, slavery. Well, right. Well, and we handled it really bad. Um, really, really bad. And I don't think it's, like you said, Connor, brought up enough in our history books and of the actual facts. I know we have a lot of access now, YouTube and all that stuff. Um, but we in
Right, and
our
I think what it
educational
is
system should be
it's such an
updated.
uncomfortable thing to talk about. Like it sucks to talk about slavery, how America did slavery. It's horrible. It sucks. We don't want to think about that, but it's important that we do talk about that.
Why do you
I
think it's
mean, it
important,
happened.
Connor? Just curious. Why do you think it's important? I'm just going to ask that
I
and throw that
think
out there.
I think if humans like I don't think we're not better because we were born later. We aren't more enlightened as a species. Humans suck. Like they don't suck. They have the ability to do horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to change just because we got rid of slavery. France got rid of slavery and then brought it back 10 years later. You know and they got
Right.
rid of it later
Mm-hmm.
again, but that's not something that slavery isn't done and gone because we got rid of it. It can always come back. We always will have the ability to do these horrible things. And if we don't talk about it, we don't like nowadays when we talk about slavery, we humanize the slaves as we should. But if we just never talk about
Yes.
it again, how long is it until someone brings up the idea that, oh, this race isn't, they're not as good as us. They're
Right.
more subservient than us by their nature. So we should actually enslave them.
Right. And that mentality and changing that mindset that someone is less superior, so I must then therefore, or they must be slaves now because I think they're less than.
Right.
So that
And not
that
only
whole
that,
mentality needs to change.
slavery, even though it ended almost 200 years ago, undeniably it has an impact on black people today. Like white people have been able to build generational wealth for how many years longer than black people have. Like the fact that slavery as an institution existed for so long in the way that it did affects people today. So we can't just ignore it. We can't say, well, it's done and gone. So we did it. We won that battle. No, it's not over yet. It's not going to be over for a long time. Right.
Well, I don't think right. And right. But you're not an aspect because you're well, just the actual
Well, hold on. The things
I
I'm going to
think
talk about later, the things I'm going to talk about later,
go on, Connor, I'll let you
no, but the things I'm going to talk about later explains why, even if you take slavery out of the question, you're not the same. Even if you're dirt poor, your family's been dirt poor forever, it's still not the same. Because
Mhm. Okay. Right. Right.
well, leading up to the Civil War, most of the northern states already were
Bring your
outlawed.
mic a little closer, Connor. A little closer, sorry. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Go on. Yes. Sorry. Right. That change. That Lincoln made it official. Right. It was an order. So Connor, you said you were going to talk about something. Hold on one second. Doc said trying to give up my seat. They all said no. You can't even try to be chivalrous anymore. Or chivalrous. Yeah. Doc's on the train trying to give up his seat. And he said, and they hold on, swaying back and forth. Yeah, Doc. People don't, they don't, they're scared of you, Doc. You're kind of scary looking. Give up your seat. Yeah. Just because you're a
Hello?
doctor doesn't mean you're not scary looking. No. So Connor, uh-oh. I can hear you. Did we lose Connor too? What's going on? Oh, you guys are in the same
Uh-oh.
place. The Wi-Fi's all jacked up. That's right.
Ruh-roh.
You're sucking bandwidth. Hold on. I can probably fix it over here on my side a little bit. Let me see. We lost him. Yep, we lost Connor. He'll be back. We'll get him back. Uh, y- yeah, maybe some ladies. I don't know who you giving up your seat for on the train, whoever. None whatsoever. No, no, it doesn't. Why? Hold on. Oh, so as you guys might be able to see, I see as a new name. We'll wait for Connor to jump back in here. I paused our upload. So Connor, who was it that told you your new name, Icy? Come on, tell us the story. So you Master Nine Toes? Uh-oh, hold on. Short answer, mini southern. Oh, hold on. Uh Doc. Oh, hold on one sec. Doc, quick synopsis. Hold on, give me one sec. I got something. Oh, there's Connor.
Silence me. They can't do it.
They can't do it. They can't shut you down, Connor. They can't shut you down. All right. So Doc wants to participate. You- yes, please. Yes, please. Say- Well, he popped in, and that's what. Okay, go on. No, you finish what you're saying. I see. I know. Give me the story. Go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lost its flair. Hey, welcome, Connor. Sorry, your little connection. Let me slow this down over here also, because I can. Maybe that'll help us our connection. So what were you saying, Connor? I was gonna ask you a question. You said you wanted to bring up and you wanted to talk about I'm guessing you wanted to go on the generational wealth.
Oh, right. So
Yes. But do you mind real quick before you start there? Hold on. I'm sorry. Uh Doc wants to participate. Quick synopsis. The first place to outlaw slavery in what became the United States was Vermont in 1777. I'm agreeing. I'm just agreeing. It's kind of like solidifying what you're saying. So I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. While it was still no, no, no. I'm just giving you what he's on the train giving us some facts. So let me see. While it was still the independent Vermont Republic, if you mean the first US state to pass slavery, uh, uh, uh that was Pennsylvania in 1780, with a gradual abolition law that would immediate freedom for everyone already enslaved. In order, the early anti-slavery states: Vermont 1777, Pennsylvania 1780, Massachusetts was 1783, New Hampshire also was 1783, and Connecticut and Rhode Island in 1784. Yep. What was the first state to outlaw slavery? The answer is Vermont. So just like you said, you were right. Good job, Icy. With your 32.
right. That's why the Civil War started though. Was because
The
the
outlaw.
South was slave states, the North was free states. They kept adding more states, and the agreement was every time you add a free state, you had to add a slave state too.
A little bit closer.
Because if you added too many free states or too many slave states, they would have a bigger representation in the Senate, right? And you would
They
be
didn't
able to
want it.
continue whatever side of the fence you were. So we got to the end,
Exactly.
but we got to the end of the, we got as far west as we get, and what do we get? California.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the tiebreaker state, and the word around the street was they're going to make it a free state. That's when the South decided to rebel.
Because they knew the size, and
Exactly.
California
They
was
said,
gonna
they're going to have a majority free
right.
representation, and eventually they will outlaw slavery. They didn't like that
Yep.
because that was where all their money was.
Yep. Oh, money. Oh, there we go. Nice segue.
Oh yeah.
Nice segue. Let's go right into the money side of it because, again, as we've talked about on here on the podcast thousands and thousands of times, is it all boils down to the money. Everything, all this corruption, all this bad slavery stuff, all of you can look at it, even the immigration stuff, you can look at all this stuff that's going on, it all comes back to money. And which again touches exactly your next point going into, you want to talk about that generational wealth. So let's talk about it.
So after slavery was ended and all the slaves are freed, after Juneteenth, most black people weren't actually free yet because after slavery, as someone who's worked on a plantation your entire life as a slave, what do you do after with your freedom? You probably would work in agriculture. What else would you do? That's all you
Right.
know. But you can't buy land. You don't have any money. So they started sharecropping. Have you heard of sharecropping?
Of course I have.
It's
Oh yeah.
horrible
Of
practice.
course.
So
Yep.
what they did was they would say, you can borrow this land,
Yep.
and in exchange, you have to give me a percentage of the crops that you harvest.
Back.
And the
Yep.
way the percentages would work is they would take like 90% of the product, and you would only get enough to pay your
Survive.
lease and eat. And that was it. And how is that any different from slavery? You can't move, you can't do anything else. You're
How long
stuck
did that
to
go
this
on?
type of land. A long time. It was like 40, 50 years, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Into the
Plus some.
1900s, they're still
Yep.
doing it.
Still doing it. Yep. I was gonna say plus some. Yeah. And so again, that generational wealth, like you were saying,
Right. So
you
how do you
can't
build
save.
any wealth there? You can't. Forget generational wealth. You can't even save up for anything. What are you going to
Right.
buy?
And then you forget about one other fact is there's not only the now let's go into the financial side. We couldn't bank, we couldn't do any of, we weren't allowed to get any type of loans, we weren't allowed to do any type of the normal things that everyone else was able to do to create that generational wealth for your family. And right. Yep.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yep. You're correct. You're right. You're correct. So well, again, well, that just kind of adds on to the to the mistakes that we've made here in the United States is thinking that women don't have rights as well. So I mean,
Right.
we can throw that in there in that mix as well as far as that. Yep.
But then
And
even you get further away from that in the 1920s,
mhm.
1921, Black Wall Street happens.
Yep.
Do you know about Black Wall
Of
Street, Dad?
course. And do you know why? And we finally said, no, that's fine. You guys want to have your own. You guys won't let us do this. We've been able to put our own stuff together and create our own generational wealth and our own companies, our own businesses,
Right. They had their
and
own banks. It was an entire neighborhood where it was
everything.
everything was black owned.
No, and what most people have no idea that
Yeah.
was getting ready, that's exactly where I was going with it. And so what people miss also was the plan to expand that and to go further into other states or other areas that can actual have that. And so again, that they knew what the plan was that was going to happen, and what did they do? They shut it down. So
Right.
mhm, everything. Mhm. 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 Oh, of course. Well, it depends. Yeah, there were two sides to it. Yeah, yeah, right, right. And we were fine on. Yeah, there was some harm, but
Well,
there.
I
But
would still
again,
argue. I mean, it's better because no matter
that's
what
what I was about
harms
to
are going to
say.
befall you, freedom is way more important. I'd
Yeah.
rather have the ability to go
Yes.
wherever I want, even if it harms me.
Yes. Right. Instead of just right across the board. Yes. Exactly. That should have been across the board. Well, yeah. Well, okay, again, why is that, Connor? Why were they? What was the decision they made that for?
Money.
Yep. Mula, mula, mula. And again, who was getting the money and who they knew that there was going to be, they were going to lose control and not have as much power as they had. So they had to shut it down. So you want to tell a
Yeah.
little history on what happened? Do you,
So
so people that don't know what happened in Tulsa?
yeah, in Tulsa, was
I'll
it
let you break
Oklahoma,
it down.
right?
Hmm. Tulsa,
So there's a neighborhood
Oklahoma.
called Greenwood.
Hmm.
In the early 1900s, like I think it's 1906, something like that. No, 1906. This black guy comes in, buys a whole bunch of land, and he decides he's only going to sell it to other black people. He's going to build an African American community, and that's what he does. And over time, they're forced to segregate because that's how the South was,
Yep.
and they made it work for them. They made their own banks, they made their own bakeries, all the businesses. They created a little town inside that's called Greenwood.
Hmm.
And people started calling it Black Wall Street because of the amount of wealth that was generated. The minimum wage, I looked this up, the minimum wage when it all broke down was 25 cents an hour. But
Hmm.
the average wage
I was about to say.
inside of Black Wall
Hmm.
Street was more than the minimum wage is today.
Yep. Yep.
They were making so much money. They had like 2 or 3 millionaires. This in the early 1900s. They had millionaires.
Yep. And inventors, they had it all set up, and again, it was all planned with expansion and growth, and it was going to be set up. But
And
so
it
what
was like
happened?
all self-sufficient. I was
Hmm.
reading a stat that said each dollar circulated inside of that community 36 times before it left. That's insane. You don't even get a dollar
36
that.
times?
Yeah, you don't even get that in a state today.
Oh, not even close. 36
It's
times? No,
crazy.
it sits maybe at 5, maybe 3.
Right. But I mean, but they could buy everything they needed. They were forced to.
Hmm.
They couldn't go into the White Town and buy whatever they
Right.
wanted to. They weren't allowed to. So they had to make that happen for themselves.
So
But
what
then
happened?
what happened was a white girl said she got raped. I don't know if she did or not.
It came out she
I'm not
didn't.
going to speak on that. Oh, she did? Okay.
No.
All
No,
right.
she didn't.
Oh, she didn't. Okay. Wow, that's worse.
But
So
yeah.
white girl said she got raped, and what happened was someone wrote a news article saying that black criminals are rampant. They're horrible. And they brought up Black Wall Street, where they talked about how rich everyone was there and how well they were doing. And this is supposedly going to be the hot spot for all the rapists. So there were huge riots. To stop these riots, the police department decided, instead of like, I don't know, having riot control or whatever, they just deputized a bunch of white people from the towns. Which I'll let you figure out how that went.
Yeah, and that's they deputized literally everyone.
Yeah, and then
Yep. They
the
did
crazy thing,
community
that same newspaper,
deputizing.
that same newspaper, while these riots are going on, publishes an article saying the Ku Klux Klan should be deployed to take care of the, all of the civil unrest. That's insane.
Yeah, all over.
Why would that be? And that was published in the Tulsa newspaper, and no one said anything about it. No one cared. Everyone was like, "Yeah, it's a great idea."
Yeah,
Like,
do
that's
it.
insane.
Yep.
So they burnt down the whole neighborhood. All
And-
the businesses burnt down. It never recovered.
Mhm.
After they burnt it down, it didn't even end when they burnt everything down and ran everyone out. Then they started really, like, it's all white community all around. So they started lowballing on the property. They were giving them, 2 cents on the dollar for the property value. And no one else is going to offer you anything. That's all there is.
Mhm.
So
They had to sell it.
they had to sell it. And then what did they do after? The government decided to rezone the entire neighborhood as an industrial zone.
Yeah, exactly.
So no one could live there ever again. It's
Yep.
crazy. It's
They
like
shut it
everyone's
down.
working against this little community just because they had money. They were able to make something of themselves. So when black people did get to build generational wealth, it was taken from them.
Look at you. Connor, I'm very, very happy that you've pulled those facts together. And I mean, I've know tons about Black Wall Street and the whole what happened and all of this stuff, and to hear it from you, to understand in this, in this generation. And again, I think this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is our education system, and how more people need to know this information. And my opinion, again, this goes back to what you were saying, Connor, before. The reason why it's important that this information is put out there, and that you guys, or that everyone hears it and knows it, we call that empathy. We call that understanding, trying to understand the mistakes that were happen, and instead of looking at it as a well this, well that, and going, no, we screwed up. No, that was wrong. You can recognize the right and wrong, what was there, and then I see, not wonderfully, I see brought it up just a little while ago. We're still doing it today. We're the gerrymandering, the being able to uh, only represent your in your state or your city, and you get no black representation because we want to make sure we have control. So we're going to make sure and zone it out so everyone stays who they are. Right. Period. Power. Power. It's power and money. Again, it goes back to, so. Oh, go on. Hmm. Right. Of course they did. Right. Yeah. Yeah, same principles. And by the way, that was from Jasmine. She said, Connor is so articulated. Yes, he is. He came correct today. And that's my man. Woohoo! Woo! So yes, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And wait, just real quick, while you guys are on there, if we got some newbies out there again today, we are talking about Black history, and we have a special guest. It is not Doc. His name is Connor, but he is acting as Doc today, and he's giving us his perspective on Black history and giving us some give us a little history lesson today. And I think he's been able to come up with some really cool stuff that that really shows that our educational system really needs some work. Connor learned some stuff and had to go relearn, and has discovered that he was taught wrong. So, any of you out there want to have a comment? Anyone? Come on, let's see what you guys got. Anyone? We got new people.
Oh yeah. Actually, before speaking of our town, Eatonville, there's another Eatonville in America in Florida. Do you know the
Oh,
significance of that
really?
town?
No.
Eatonville, Florida. Let me pull this up. I took a picture of it so I don't misquote it. Eatonville, Florida is the oldest continuously incorporated African American municipality in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, it was founded in 1887.
Interesting.
And right, I always see Eatonville, Florida when I Google something, and I'm like, man, this is not the right Florida, or this is not the right Eatonville, but it makes sense. I mean, that's a famous
Right.
town.
Nice. Good job.
But the invention,
Yes, let's hear it.
the free light traffic signal was invented by a black person in 1924, I believe.
The light signal?
Yeah, with the three red, yellow, green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not know
Nice.
that.
Oh, all right. You want to look it up real quick? Give us the black inventions. Let's give us some black inventions here. I'm going to let you look it up since you got your computer right there. Let's get some black inventions that people had no idea were invented by a black person.
Wow, blood plasma banks.
The actual banks? Oh, wow.
Like the storage method
Right. The
for
mechanism
plasma. That's crazy. So if you ever need plasma or donate plasma,
or to store
yeah,
it.
it says for storing and processing.
Oh, nice. All right, what else we
Oh,
got?
Dad, you gotta love this one. Cataract surgery.
Oh, cataract
And
surgery.
another one. Open heart surgery.
Actually, can you give us some names? Let's give them some props real quick. Can
Yes.
you get
So
names?
Dr. Charles Drew was for blood plasma. Dr.
Nice.
Patricia Bath was cataract, and Dr.
Nice.
Daniel Hale Williams was the first successful open heart surgeon.
Open heart. Nice. Ever done. That's cool.
And I got a quick question. How are we talking to each other right now? What are we using?
What?
What are we using to talk to each other right now? Nah, the audio device.
Oh, microphone?
Microphone. Yes, the electric microphone was invented by Dr. James E. West.
Wow. Dr. James. Oh, the microphone that we get to talk on today. Nice, nice. What else? What else we got?
Marie Van Britten Bown co-invented the first video home surveillance system in 1966.
Oh, nice.
Refrigerated trucks were invented by Frederick McKinley Jones.
Wow.
Oh, automatic elevator doors were invented by Alexander Miles in 1887.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elevator doors are that old? I know. We're thinking the same thing. We're like, man, that was a while ago. Yeah. To be invented or that back then. Me neither.
Well, remember they did. It was just they had the guy they had the lever, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, the guy sitting in the elevator, he had to crank the lever for you to go up.
Nice. All right, what else we got?
Let's see. Oh, actually,
hold on a
even
second.
more. Yeah.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry. That was me.
Oh, a voice over internet protocol, which is like the software that lets people have online video conferences like we're doing right now. That was invented by Dr. Marion Croak.
Oh. Oh, Catherine sent us something, I see. Keep going, Connor. She sent us also she sent me a nice little list for Black inventors. And she's probably going off the same list that Connor is actually probably. Go on, because I now
Let's
see
see.
some of the same ones that you did. So keep going.
Um, this one's interesting. The first internet search engine was created by Alan Emtage.
Oh
Emtage.
wow. Oh, here's
And
a
that was in 1990.
that was a while ago. Oh wait, 19 he invented
The first
19
internet search engine.
what which one was it? Does it say what it was? I'm curious now,
It's called
just that
Archie.
Archie. Netscape. Archie. He built the search engine. Nice. Didn't know that. Thank you, Honey Bear
Oh,
Catherine.
whoa. Color computer monitors. Mark Dean.
Mark Dean.
Mark Dean.
Oh, okay. He's not a doctor.
He is not.
It's not Martine. All right, what else you got, Connor?
This isn't an invention, but now's probably a good time to talk about it. Uh, Probably one of the most like important contributions to science, Henrietta Lacks. Do you know about her?
Oh, wait, say that one more time.
Henrietta
I
Lacks. Henrietta Lacks.
don't know who
She
Henrietta Lacks
was
is.
Yeah, so she had ovarian cancer in the 50s, and they took a scraping of cells from her uterus, and they were the very first cells that were able to be reproduced over and over again, and they were interesting. Like they were innovative at the time because they were the first ones that would live long enough to conduct multiple tests on it. So, like most cells back in the day, just the
Oh,
way that they would,
right.
you know,
Breakdown.
culture them, it would only last for a couple of days. So
Hmm.
you'd have to take a new sample to do every test. And how accurate can you be when it's a new sample, right?
Right. Over and
Hers
over again.
lasted weeks. So you could keep on going over and over with the same set of cells to
Really?
really make sure you're like really accurate. And those cells are actually still alive today. They've been continuously reproducing these same cells. And it's really
Really?
sad. Her family was never compensated for it. They never knew about it until, like I said, this happened in 1951. They found out in 1975. And the only reason they found out is because all of her descendants kept getting calls asking for them to donate blood samples for science because they thought
Really?
maybe it's something with her genetics, so her
Right.
ancestry or her lineage would be able to produce the same thing. And they're at a dinner party with some doctors, and they said, "Hey, it's kind of weird. Why do you why are we getting asked so much for blood samples?" That's how they found out. The doctor told them,
Wow. And
and it's
so what did they do anything for him?
no, I don't
Nothing.
think they ever got
No
paid for it or
compensation or
anything.
anything?
Yeah, no. She they did donate a headstone. She was buried in an unmarked grave,
Oh,
which
wow.
I thought was really weird, but I think it was actually like a family tradition kind of thing. In the graveyard she was buried at, the only other member of her family that had a headstone at the time was her mom. So it wasn't like she just got like screwed over. I
Right.
think it was a family thing. They just didn't do headstones. But she has one now. It was donated, and also her sister has one. They donated
And
that
they
as well.
donated and they were able to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, if
Yeah.
you use
Yeah, we're gonna give you a
cosmetics,
headstone. Yeah.
if you use cosmetics or medicine, there's a good
Right.
chance that her cells were used to develop it.
Yeah,
They were
but we're
used to
just gonna
like
give
just
her a little headstone, that's all.
oh yeah.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice, yeah. And I'm sure they got extremely rich over it. Extremely.
Oh yeah.
So real quick, might as well do commercial time now. Really fast. I don't know if Doc is still driving or on the train. That's oh, I was get Really? You're not even gonna let me So that's the only so you're not gonna let me do a commercial on your book because that was the plan, but since you wanted to just kinda throw it up there and kinda give us some more then. Don't nope. Yes, what is it? And what's it called? Ah, the coloring book. I was gonna bring it up. I was just I know I saw it. I was gonna bring it up, but I don't. But since you went that way, I'm gonna go on and bring. Since you already did your book plug, I'll bring Doc's up real quick. So for those of you that don't know, Doc has been working extremely hard on developing these apps and programs for to help people that need cool apps and things to help their life. Now he made this one co-parent, and I think that one right now is going to be an amazing app for those of you that don't know and that might be going through any type of. I'm just going to throw this up real quick. Can you guys see that? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I don't know why that happened. There we go. So, Doc has his own platform. It's called Smith App Studio. Dot help. Again, everything is dot help for Doc. Oh, look, Icy. Oh, look at Doc. He's got his nice bio on here. He's got some cool stuff. So these are all of his apps. If you get a chance, go over to it's coming. That's gonna be on his other he's got another app coming. No, he's turning in his book into an app. I'm not gonna talk more about that yet, but his whole book is gonna be an app, and he's gonna be doing all kinds of cool stuff with it. But co-parent. Let's talk about co-parent real quick. Please, if you're an attorney, if you have someone that is going through any custody battles, any divorces, or anything like that, and they've got to handle their kids and all that stuff, and the court system is requiring you to go through a co-parenting app. Co-parent.help is the app for you. I mean, since the court's making you do it in any way, go on and use co-parent.help because it is loaded with much more stuff than you're going to get with those other apps and much cheaper. So just so everybody knows, yes, not only. Hmm. Yep, right. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. You've got your own shared calendar. You've got all kinds of cool little options, expense tracking. You guys can track expenses back and forth, what you paid all together. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Exactly. All in one place. Hmm. You know, you can share goals, everything you need, peaceful co-parent. I mean, goals that you might have. Again, it's a whole app in one with all kinds of cool features. Again, family or co-parent dot help. So all of his apps, if you guys haven't saw that theme yet, it all goes with dot help. So he's the dot help guy. So any of his apps are most of them are dot help. So look him up. His Smith App Studio, and he can You can see all of his cool apps on there. We'd love your support. Go look up all of his stuff. And Jasmine said, I got to go back to work. Connor, you're doing such a good job. Yes, thank you, Connor. And yes, I'm really glad you came and gave us your insight.
Not yet, no.
I
We have not.
Did you think I was saying I was done? You thought I was no, I wasn't wrapping it up. We're not done. No, I was just going back to what she said. He's doing a great job, and I was thanking him for coming and doing his thing because he's doing a good job. Speaking of Tuscany, and are we going to talk about the experiments, or are we going to talk
Yeah.
about? Or
We're
are we
gonna
going to
talk
talk
about the
about the
experiment.
training and the? Well, we there's a lot of stuff we can do with. Okay, go on. Let's hear. I would love. I know that story quite well, and so I would love to hear what you've got on the experiments that we got going on.
So the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment
Mhm.
was an experiment conducted in. I have it pulled up
Tuskegee
here somewhere. Yeah,
or
Tuskegee.
Mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
Uh, it was in 1932.
Keep
Where's
going,
the
Connor.
mute button at? How do we mute him?
Yeah, I got it on my side.
Uh,
Don't worry about it.
it was conducted between 1932 and 1972, which is really crazy. That's like super
Yeah.
recent.
Mhm.
Not a long time ago at all. It was they got a bunch of black people that had syphilis and they just didn't treat them. And they told them that they were. And just to kind of see what happens, I guess. I don't really know why. It's really interesting to me that they even did it in the first place because previously in the 20s there was an Oslo study. It was called the Oslo Study of Untreated Syphilis, which they used that data as a control group for like white people and stuff
Mhm.
to see what happens if you don't treat white people. And then they decided, well,
Let's switch it.
maybe black people it'll be different for some
Right.
reason. And so they just did the same thing. Yes. Well, it wasn't in the 20s experiment, it wasn't
I was just
race-based, it
about to
was
say.
just an experiment.
Right.
Right.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, maybe there were black people involved there, it was European.
It
So,
was.
it's not the same as, they weren't as racially focused as we were at the time.
Right. Right.
No. But that study concluded, it's actually a horrible idea to not treat syphilis. We should treat syphilis when we can. I
Yeah.
know, it's kind of a crazy concept, but,
Let's
America,
go on
we
and treat
had
it.
to be sure. We just had to be
Right.
sure that black people was the same thing.
Right. We just got to confirm it
Right. So that's what they did, and
because they're different humans.
they told people they were, treating a condition called bad blood,
Yep.
which in the area was it meant a whole bunch of things. It meant, like, anemia
Yeah,
or, like,
all of
heart
it.
problems, like, a bunch of
Mhm.
cardiovascular issues were contributed to something called bad blood. So they didn't tell him about the syphilis thing. They didn't tell him that they weren't actually treating them for anything. They would provide, like, basic healthcare if you had, like, the flu. They would give you healthcare for that.
Right.
That's about it. They did this for 50 years.
50
Like, that's
years.
insane. In 1972, they stopped. You were born. This
Oh, I
was in
was.
your lifetime.
Yes,
Like,
I
that's
was born.
crazy.
Yes. Oh, I know. Yes. I've yes. Oh, you
And when
think?
you were 1?
Yeah, when you were one. This thing gotta stop this right now. I was protesting, you were running the streets.
No, it's
But
just
yes,
sad
but
though that,
seriously, on a
we
serious
can't
note, go
look at
on.
this stuff as like I was saying earlier, we can't look at, like, slavery and stuff and be like, It's done and gone. We did that. We took care of it." Because this was 50 years ago they were doing this. That's not
Yes.
that long ago.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
it's not
Mhm.
something that was in the past.
In my lifetime. In my
It's
lifetime.
crazy.
So, I
It's
mean,
sad.
it was still going on when I was born. So,
Right.
and you gotta and again, so you see all of that that bad stuff that they're doing and keeping it going, and then you see, Connor bringing this to the forefront and bringing it out, and I love the fact that this is okay. I've known a lot about it and a
I'd
little
never
bit.
heard about it
Yeah.
until the other day.
Oh,
Not a
really?
single word. Yeah, they didn't teach that in high school. They didn't say anything about that.
Wow. Not even in high school?
I've never heard of it until like 3 days ago.
Wow. So they pulled it out now. Interesting. So the fact that again you didn't even learn that, and and again, you're thinking 50 years of something like that would have made it into your history book and
Right.
into one of your classes, and then you wonder, okay, so then the teachers that were teaching the class, the teachers that were teaching the class knew at least something about it, or hopefully heard something about it. Why wouldn't they teach it or want to bring it up? Even though, again, you're talking about your teachers, and they want the education and all this history to be told. Why wouldn't
And
they tell you?
I took AP US history. Like this wasn't, just the basic world
What?
history class. Like this is AP US history, only talking about the US. This is a
Oh
really dark
my gosh.
stain on
Yes.
US. I feel like we should talk about that.
Yes. I mean, you've got, yeah, I mean, the airmen. I'm sure you've heard of the Tuskegee
Oh
Airmen,
yeah, I'm gonna talk about them too.
yep,
They're great.
and what they've done and how they, the battles that they went through, that they all of the racial stuff that they had to go through to get where they were, yet being the the numbers that they were able to get, the regardless of their skill level and how much they contributed, they were still tried to be torn down. They were still bad. They were still, oh, it's something crazy, and still didn't get their props close to what they should have gotten. And you're
Right.
barely getting them again. You didn't get them in the history books or even in a lot of press or anything until way later. I mean, way after they had done all of their success and stuff. They
The
should have been.
Tuskegee Airmen, I love the Tuskegee Airmen. Last year I went to the Flight Museum in, what is it, Tukwila, Washington,
Oh,
and
nice.
they have a whole section for them. And they actually
Really?
they have some of the planes. They have 2 or 3 of the planes that they flew.
And they were
And
sick too. The
I
way they
remember looking
decorated
at
them.
it. I looked at one of them. I swear to God, they had over 20 swastikas on there. For each one is a ship that they shot, or not a ship, a plane that they shot
They
down.
shot down.
I'm like, man,
Yep.
he was going through it.
Oh, they
He was
were.
dropping them. Like, that's
Yes.
crazy.
And their
And then they
skill
came
was
home.
insane.
Right. And I learned just the other day that when they were stationed in Sicily, they
Mm.
were trained to fly P-51 Mustangs. But when they got to Sicily, they weren't given P-51 Mustangs. They were given P-40s,
Yep.
which they had never flown before, and they were like noticeably slower than the German planes. And they all made it home. They
And they,
still did it.
yes.
They were catching bodies. Like, what? That's
Oh, come
crazy.
on, give me some more. Give me some more. Come on. They're like, come on, where else you got? Yes,
Oh,
but
and
again, and then
the
when they
sad
did come
thing,
home, oh, there you go. I think that's where you're going with it.
uh, well, I
Maybe.
wasn't going to talk about right away when they came home. I
Oh
was going
yeah.
to talk about more present day.
Mm.
Um, you're not going to like this one, Dad, but last year, our president, as to combat DEI, he decided to take the Tuskegee Airmen out of the Air Force's history classes, because when you join the military, you got to take
Right.
classes. He took the Tuskegee Airmen outside of the curriculum, and he also removed their display at the National History Museum in DC.
Now I didn't hear that. I knew he took it
He
out of
did.
the course, but I didn't know
Now,
that he
both of those
the training.
things, the courts forced them to overturn. So they are in the training again, and they are in the museum again.
Nice.
But
I
there
knew.
was a couple weeks where we just decided we're gonna forget that history. They're not important to America, I guess.
Right.
Which
So
to me, it shows that, like I've been saying, this isn't over because slavery was finished. It's not over because the experiments were 50 years ago, or black people can get whatever job they want now. Now we're taking someone's recognition from almost 100 years ago.
yeah,
For what? Because we
Yeah.
don't like DEI? That's insane.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, just because you have you can't just take history and delete it or say it didn't happen because you don't like the narrative, because you
Right.
don't like the way it turned out on your side, or because it looks bad for you on this. So you can't just delete history because you want to. It's so
Right.
wrong. And again, that goes
Everything
back
that we
to.
do today needs to be forward looking, and we can't change what happened in the past. All we can do is learn from it.
Mhm.
And we don't learn from things by getting rid of them or not talking about them.
And pushing them under the rug, or saying they're just it
Exactly.
didn't really happen, or again, we say whitewashing it and saying it's not, oh, it wasn't such a big deal that they had to go through that. Oh, they got over it. It wasn't so bad when they came back from doing all of these wonderful things for the country that they love, and then come back home and be shunned, be
Right.
ridiculed still,
Get
and
screwed out of the GI Bill that your
yes,
government promised you.
yes, yes. Oh my gosh, huge. And then you say, oh, but it that's over now, and just like what you're saying, we can't really look at that. It's not really happening now. But no, all of those same things are still in effect, that affect a lot of African Americans today, that still go through that. Even, I mean, think about your generational wealth with your Tuskegee Airmen, the families, and how much they would have been able to get all of the stuff that they can do to continue their generational and take care of their families and all that stuff. They didn't get that. They
Right, like,
weren't
in a different
able.
world, these guys coulda came home to be like Chris Kyle, like, they could
Celebrated.
have been telling their
Yep.
stories, writing books.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, man, I would've gone crazy for that. They're killing all these Nazi planes, that's awesome.
Yes,
But they
and
weren't
still
given that
getting
opportunity.
shunned and all that, and spit on, and as if, and then questioned. And this is one of the things that gets me, is then when you question. Actually, I was watching this on a news program the other day, and then when someone questions or says anything about how bad it was, or oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's this, all this bad stuff. But we're in America. We're the best place in the world. Then go live somewhere else. No, I'm I'm not saying I don't love it here, and you got these guys that fought for their country and still questioned on their loyalty to their country,
Right.
but yet they would have died for it, and they some of them did, and all these things, but yet still coming back and saying, you're still not an American. I mean, how can you imagine how that would feel? I've gone, but you're still not worthy. You're still not good enough to be a full American.
Mhm.
So it kind of
See,
hurts a little.
that's one argument I hate the most when people say, "If you don't like it here, move." To me, that's the most un-American thing you can say. We are the first country on the planet that decided we the people get to make the choice for our country.
Right.
And now you're saying when I don't like the direction it's going, I want to use that power to make a different choice, I gotta leave? No.
Right.
Why didn't the colonists leave, man? Why didn't George Washington go to Canada or something? I
That's
don't
funny
know.
how you put
God,
that,
he fought
Connor.
for what he believed in.
That's hilarious how you put that, Connor. What do you mean I gotta leave? What do you mean?
Right.
I'm here with you. I was born here, and you were born here, and I love it. I like where I live,
Exactly.
and
Like, man, if I
we
think
got some
Americans making
issues we
mistakes,
gotta
it's my
fix.
duty to it's my
To
job as an
question.
American to say,
Right.
"Hey, hold on, this
Democracy.
isn't right."
Democracy, where I get to actually vote and make a decision.
Right.
Let's talk about that voting just for a quick second. For those of you that do not vote, and you decide not to vote, and you say I'm not going to vote, and do all this stuff, you don't get to say an argument. You don't get to your right to vote gives you a voice. So get out there and vote for what you believe in, and stand by that vote, and if it's the right vote, but you voted for it. So again, I highly, and I don't care who you are, what, if you don't think your vote is going to matter and that number doesn't matter. I mean, the fact that we weren't able to vote and we couldn't vote for so long, and then now we have that opportunity to make a difference, because I sit back and I look at a lot of the South um, issues that are going on in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, and all that stuff. If people would just get out there and vote, regardless if you think it's not going to go through, you've got to vote. That's your opportunity to get people out of office. That's your way of making your voice heard. So it to me, voting is the democracy, like you said. That's what we have a right. So use it. Let me see. I'll do this one for you, Mamak. Mamak said he just. I know it's not Mamak. But it is. She's from Mama C. I know Mama C from what country? Isn't she in another country? Mama C. No, she's local. Okay. Happy Father's Day, she says. So there you go. And she says, got to get back to work. So there you go. Mama C's going back to work. Bye, Mama C. Thank you for dropping in real quick. Yeah, Mamak. Mamak. All right. So, Connor, I'm gonna start wrapping up. Icy, is that okay? Did you want something else, Icy? Is there something else you wanted to say? You don't want to add? You don't want to add? You sure? I don't want to cut you short, and then you come back and tell me later that I didn't let you say something. Because I know. Hey, Connor, what you got? Anything else? You want to do a wrap up? You want to give? Let's hear your final thought. Oh, all right, bring it.
Rosa Parks. This is just an interesting fact. That I learned a while ago. Rosa Parks got her rent paid by the Little Caesars CEO.
You want to bring that? Oh, that was amazing. That
Yeah,
story
and what I
is
love about it so much is
amazing.
the CEO didn't do this for publicity. He didn't talk about it. It came out later because someone else said something about it, which that's amazing. I mean, man, he's awesome for that. Like,
huge. And not only that, the stuff that he set up for for her family as well, and future stuff was insane. And all kept quiet. All didn't want to say a word to anybody. And it, like you said, it kept silent for ages.
yeah.
until somebody found that out. Yeah. All right. You want a final thought? Is that your final thought?
My final thought is, racism's messed up. You know, we unfortunately, as America, our history is full of it, and even today, we still got to continue that fight. I mean, it's not over. People are still out here being racist, and
oh yeah,
publicly racist, and you know, it's not seen as
in
such
your
a big
face.
deal for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think as Americans, we gotta do our job and not let that happen. We gotta keep talking about this stuff.
And you're 1,000% sure. So when you're going to come back again, since you've been begging to come back, and we will definitely, since your dad won't let you come on, and you know all this stuff, Connor. I want you on, Connor. Just so you know, thank you so much for saying that you wanted to come on and do this history.
Nah, this is fun.
You're
I'll
cutting
do
them
it
off.
again.
It's done. It's done.
No, I'd come back for another episode. This was fun.
I know it was. Well, thank you, Connor and Icy. Final thoughts? You agree?
You agree?
I thank you, Connor.
You agree that I thought it was fun and that I would come back again? I don't think you can agree. I don't think. No, if someone says that they think they had fun, you can't agree with their thoughts. You can't disagree either. It's a fact. I'm stating a fact. I'm stating what I.
No, you gotta have your own thoughts. You gotta have your own thoughts. You're not. No piggybacking. No piggybacking. He's trying to piggyback on your thoughts. On your thoughts, Connor. Can't piggyback on his thoughts. You gotta have your own thoughts, Icy.
Man, what did you do before I was around, dude? I don't know how you operated.
Dog,
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, having no thoughts probably would be a happy life. I'm not gonna lie.
Connor, and then I had to take your thoughts.
I don't know. I was a baby.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're asking him. He did the research. Yes, he should. Yeah, come on. Yeah, no. So we thank everybody. Oh, okay. So we just rub off on people. So if you hang around with too many of us, you turn black. Hmm. Right.
Yeah, I remember as a kid thinking that like oh like my generation we killed racism. Like we don't even care anymore for real. But unfortunately that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, when I grew up I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Yeah,
And then
actually,
you
it
get
was
on
when I
Twitter,
moved to
right?
Easterville.
And
When I
then you
moved
get on
to
Twitter,
Easterville,
and
I
then
was
you
like,
get on
"Oh."
Twitter, and then you get on Twitter, and you're like, yeah. Right.
Right.
Yep, and trying to eradicate it and get rid of it. And again, doing things like this, Connor, I appreciate your perspective and what you did in bringing your info and your data. Again, that is, I would love for more people to hear that and getting into our education system and people being able to truly see. I mean, the fact that you just learned about the Tuskegee Airmen and all this other stuff. Wait, you knew about
Well,
Tuskegee
I knew the
Airmen.
airman,
You
not
knew
the
about
experiment.
the experiment. That's right,
Yeah.
the experiment that you didn't know. I mean, things like that. That should have been in our history books.
Yeah,
That should have
100%.
been like huge in our history books. You would think. But things, and they're trying to get rid of it in our history books, and even trying to take it, like you said, out of our history stuff. So, I closed out in prayer last week. I see. You got it? Oh, yeah.
No, I can't do that. That's you.
No, you you
No,
got it, Connor.
as a non-religious person, you got it.
All right. I see. It's all you. There you go. Amen. So, a quick shout out before I go. Honey Bear Catherine, her podcast is, we got to give a quick shout out. She is amazing. She supports us a lot. She's always here. Let's see. She has, this is, what is this? Yep. Hold on. Is that the 20? No. Wait, that's their old one. I was looking back at her old one. I didn't get your. podcast happen? Yes, Friday and Monday. I think she does the Friday and Monday club rooms. Again, for those of you that don't know, Honey Bear Catherine
Hey,
has a podcast
the live
on.
ended.
Well,
The podcast ended.
how did it end?
It's
It's not on right now?
YouTube. Yeah, it's not on YouTube anymore.
It just stopped?
Yeah.
What
I guess
the
9 minutes ago it ended.
what the heck?
I don't know what happened there.
How did it's still recording and yes. Yeah, Instacart. Yeah, and get a what's it's still recording. It's still recording on us.
Yeah, it still says live.
Yeah, it's still recording, but it dropped for some reason. All right. Well, all right, guys. Bye. Let me stop this. Hold on. Don't hang up, Connor. Yeah, I'm stopping it. So we're stopping it.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.